All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. If you've been here before, welcome in. If it's your first time, we're going to be talking about HEX and staking ROI in this video. So first of all, I want to thank everyone a ton for the 5,000 subscriber milestone. It's a huge one, halfway to 10K. I didn't think at the beginning of April, right? It's been a little over 4 months since I started making these crypto videos. I didn't think that we would grow this quickly. Right, so I'm super grateful for you guys that you continue to tune into the content. So we will continue to provide you with the most quality, up-to-date content and qualitative, quantitative, technical, all that analysis, even fundamental, right? We've gotten into the nitty-gritty here on HEX, Pulse Chain, PHEX, and mainly those, right? Those are our favorite here on the channel. If you like other coins, there are plenty of other channels for those other coins. But for now, that's what we stick to here, and we'll continue to do so until further notice. So again, we're going to talk about staking ROI. These are some new charts I whipped up for you, but we need to give credit where credit is due, and that is to Ryan Lopez. His website, HEX Daily Stats, is starting to become a very, very powerful resource in terms of the data and what you can do with it. I will say there are certain columns that are yet to be populated. I'm sure it's actually a kind of a tricky job to query the history, right? And actually get that info for you after the fact. So hats off for what you've done so far. I'm sure you will continue to improve the site like you have already. Even the color coding looks super nice. So yeah, shout out to Ryan and the team at hexdailystats.com. We're going to be using some of this data to provide you with these charts that I'm about to show you. So, fun fact, they're actually live on the website by the time you're watching this video. So if you want to follow along with these charts, just go to LookIntoHex.com. First link in the description. We're mainly going to be looking at this tab here, the shares tab, as well as the max ROI tab, okay? So first of all, when you click on shares, you end up on a page like this. It gives you a general overview of what shares are, gives you kind of some explanation on the bonuses, share rate, and explains kind of the motivation for these charts and some of the terminology when we're talking about these charts. And this is stuff you can verify on the actual HEX contract, right? You can just go to etherscan.io, look at the HEX contract, read it, and see that these variables are indeed correct. I had people double check this, and you can double check me as well. Let me know if anything on here it looks right to me. So when we get into the actual charts, I've added this here. Now, I know this is one you can already access on, for example, I think apphex.win/charts already has this chart on their website, but you know what? It felt incomplete without it, especially now that we actually have the data to be able to present this to you, because this coincides so much with other charts that we're going to talk about, right? This is kind of the multiplier by which you're going to see some sort of divergences in some of the charts I'm going to show you. So this global share rate is pretty much described up here, what the share rate actually means. And the way I have it here laid out on the chart for you, you can monitor it actually in two ways, right? I actually need to update the vertical axis here so it shows like this, but it shows in the legend here, right? That you effectively have your hearts per share as well as your hex per T share. Both are pretty much this exact same way of measuring share rate. They're just scaled by a factor of 10,000. If you're an OG, you remember the initial go.hex.com UI. It showed hearts per share, and it was a number that started at 1. And if it had continued to show that number right now, it would be at 1.843 or so. Now that was updated to be, instead of hearts per share, it's 10,000 hex per T share, which there are 100 million hearts in a hex, and there are 8 trillion shares in a T share. Therefore, you see that 10,000x scaling difference, right? It's pretty much the same, but you can kind of monitor it in whatever way you'd like, right? So you could say it's 18,429.7 hex per T share. And this is a chart that only goes up, mind you, because this is it's simply set by a ratio. And I've had some people bring up the fact they don't fully understand how this is set. It's actually really simple. It's really simple. It's whenever anyone goes to unstake, right? they're burning their shares, they're burning their T shares, and they are pretty much minting some amount of HEX, some principal plus interest plus bonuses from penalties and all of that, right? So whenever someone goes to unstake, they are pretty much minting a number of HEX, so that's the numerator, and just divide that by the number of T shares they had to be able to mint that, right? And that ratio, that HEX per T share, if it's the highest that the system has ever seen, then that becomes the new global share rate. It's really that simple. So what that tells you is that at the moment, it looks like that ratio, the highest anyone has ever gotten, is 18,429 HEX minted per every T share that they created when they staked. So this is what this number represents, and because it is a max ROI, it's a kind of a running max ROI in terms of HEX and T shares, which again were created by the system. Therefore, this thing can go up, and it only goes up actually. It's a monotonically increasing function. That's just math lingo for it. It only increases, right? Monotonically decreasing would be the opposite. It only decreases. It just means there is no change of direction, pretty much. And so I have here a chart for you guys, which is the value of a T-share as well as the T-share market cap. So again, you have your T-share price. You can see that it bottomed out here at, I'm going to see if there's a way to be able to kind of look at both at the same time, because I know on something like this, you see them both simultaneously. I'm going to try to update these charts up there so that you see both variables at the same time when you hover above it, right? Because it's not doing it on this. So I'm going to see what's up with that. By the time you're watching this, it might be fixed. If not, give it a few days. But pretty much you have your T-share price and your T-share market cap. You see that a T-share is currently at around $2,457. And the T-share market cap, which again, we've talked about this in the previous video explaining shares, that it's a value that is in the future, right? Because of people staking real world value now for whatever number of days. So we have a whole video on that, but this is pretty interesting to see. Whales actually pointed this out on the stream earlier, that you have this kind of T-share market cap spike near big payday when almost everyone was staked. Makes sense, right? Because you're flooding the market with new T-shares because you've staked. So that's pretty interesting to have that spike there. But you can monitor both of those, right? Now I believe that's the only update we did to the shares tab. The rest of them you already know. It's your payout per T-share. You can see we had a nice little spike to 6.2 recently. We already know this as well, the total amount of T-shares circulating, which directly influences the T-share market cap, right? And as well as your staking participation and how that's an inverse of the actual average APY. So currently, 9.71% of the entire system is staked. Therefore, there's a ratio in the contract that says 369 divided by whatever that percentage is, and therefore it gives you this 38.01% average APY. So, and then again, we have our total time value of HEX, that which exists now in its circulating market cap, and that which exists in the future via its shares market cap. And I want to update you guys on what we updated here on the Max ROI tab. Previously, we only had one chart, and now we have 4. And let me explain. This is your lifetime ROI before staking, right? And we've touched on this, what this means. The blue curve is it's a curve that only goes up. It's a function that only goes up because whenever we reach a new local peak, it flattens out, right, until we reach the next local peak. It's pretty much telling you the max ROI anyone has had in terms of US dollar appreciation of the HEX ERC20, right? So that's old news, right? Maximum ROI, 3,867. Currently, we're below our all-time high, and so our ROI from all-time low is lower than our max, right? Because we're not at all-time highs right now, but it's still sitting at almost 2,500. So our 10,000X design looks pretty close on here, doesn't it? Well, if you scroll down and look at after staking, then this provides a slightly different story, right? This pretty much just takes into account the max ROI, which is the T-share rate, right, in terms of HEX interests, multiplied by that curve that I had already had previously, which is your max ROI in terms of US dollar appreciation. And so when you combine the two, you get a chart that looks like this, where you have your maximum appreciation just in reality, right? Because there are people who rode the US dollar appreciation as well as interest. So this chart gives HEX more, it does HEX more justice than just the price chart alone, right? Yeah, it definitely does. It's really similar to something like your T-share price, right? Which some would argue is a much nicer chart than the actual HEX price chart, because this went from 60 cents to, you know, $400, and at its peak it was like, it's hard to tell because it doesn't have the kind of double scroll thing that I want to fix, but it looks like we peaked out at around like $3,000 per T-share or something. Yeah. Because when HEX was at what, 20 cents, it hit 20 cents, and we were at 18,000. Yeah, so a T-share reached like what, $3,600. Dang. Okay. Yeah, I'm kind of getting off track here. Let's get back to this, right? So yeah, 3,600 over what, 60 cents? What is that, like a 6,000x? Well, it says here that your maximum ROI riding both. Yeah, let's get back to this. Your maximum ROI, if you had ridden US dollar appreciation and staking, it looks like a 7,126x, right? So again, this combines both appreciation and interest and versus the dollar, currently sitting at, again, it's similar to this one where you have your running ROI as well as your maximum ROI. So the maximum ROI provides a ceiling, and the running ROI kind of gives you a visual idea of how we reached that ceiling and why it took pretty much so long, why it took the amount of time it took until it bumped back up, because it's basically until we cross our all-time high. Yeah, this pink curve only increases when we cross our all-time high. Same with over here. These sort of ceiling functions only increase when we cross into new all-time high territory. And here is another way of looking at it, because if you plot all four of these curves on the same chart, it gets a little bit messy. So I decided to do all four permutations of all of these four charts. So you have your ROI before staking, you have your ROI after staking, both running and max, and then you have just your max and just your running, where the legend differentiates between before and after staking. So yeah, you can get a better idea of where each of these is relative to the next. So a staker is doing about 1.83x better than a non-staker, again reflected in your share rate. So you can see that with this, your maximum ROI from all-time low. And notice how close this is to 10,000x. It's really not that far at all. You could say you only need what, a 1.4x from all-time high. And keep in mind, this is actually increasing every single day because it includes staking. So the cool part, yeah, this is what I really like about this pink curve specifically on this third chart, is that it doesn't stay flat when we don't reach an all-time high. It increases by the factor that the share rate is increasing. So notice how the blue curve stays flat before staking, but your maximum ROI after staking is always increasing. It's never even staying flat. So that is an absolutely just beautiful chart. Never goes down. And then again, your maximum ROI from all-time low, showing you kind of both running ROIs on the same chart, before and after staking, differentiated by the legend, like I described earlier. So play around with these charts. Let me know what you think. I'm gonna really try and do what I said, which is over here, for example, when you scroll, you get both variables kind of in the same box. I really like that. I don't know how I was able to do that, but I really like it, and I'm gonna try to do the same for other charts. I really like that, because with charts like these where you have things kind of which chart specifically, like this one for example, where you have them overlaid like almost right on top of each other. If you want to know both at the same time, it's nearly impossible to scroll and get what you want. So yeah, to make this more interactive, I'm gonna really attempt to do that. But that's pretty much all I wanted to cover in this video. By the time you're watching this, I've probably tweeted it out on the LookIntoHex.com Twitter. So it's twitter.com/LookIntoHex. Follow on there. If you're going to follow as well on the personal page. I'll keep you guys up to date on new videos, new chart updates. But like when we dropped the staking charts, updated you on here, starting off the week with some new charts. Wow, it was 4 days ago. Yeah, we're on a roll here. So we're adding some new charts. You'll be updated here. So go ahead and follow. Appreciate you watching. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you guys for 5,000 subs. Let's get to 6,000 next. I mean, you guys did 1 to 2K subs in like a month or two. The 2 to 3K subs, you guys did it in a month. 3 to 4, I think it was a little over a month. But the 4 to 5, that one was like 18 days. So you guys are getting faster. I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. So maybe 6K happens in 2-3 weeks. I mean, it's up to you guys really. So I would appreciate it if you would comment what you think about these charts. Let me know if they're easy to be interacted with. Again, hopefully I've fixed that. Just suggestions, updates, recommendations, feedback is always nice. What else? I think that's it. I guess one last thing. We have a Telegram group, but I haven't done anything in it. No one is allowed to post in it yet. There are like 9 members in there, I think. I think someone left, so I think there's like 8 members. But nothing's going on there yet. It's t.me/LookIntoHex. I just wanted to snag it just in case. I mean, I don't know. It could be somewhere where I can like let you guys know, hey, dropped a new video. That might be cool because I usually drop it in the Pulse chain and the hex.com kind of general chats. I don't know. Is that like, do you guys like that, or is it kind of too shilly? Like, do you not like me shilling my videos in the chat? I've been fine up to now. No one's really said anything. I only get good feedback on Telegram. So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. But yeah, go ahead and join that group if you want. We might find purpose for it in the future, whether it be to update you with new website updates, videos. That would actually be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm kind of coming up with ideas on the spot. So that might be cool. We might enable that pretty soon. All right, thanks for watching. Leave a like. Catch you in the next video.